Hello everyone. Yes, 25th and 26th. So we're just now entering the 25th this Saturday, and man, it's been a hectic day already. So, yeah. Not a good way to start off the weekend, but it's kind of coming back from the week. For those of you all that don't know, before I get really jumping in here, I am Gail O'Dell, and I do other videos. I do like the Missouri history, Day of History, Missouri. My questions of the day, taste test videos, etc. So, plus I'm a paranormal investigator, so I do some of that on the side as well. So from now on, every now and then, you might hear some of that pop in here too for my paranormal stuff, because anything goes on this this particular segments. But anyway, getting up to speed about California. I was going to do an update, but right now they got another fire, devastating fire going on in California right now, so I don't really know what's going on with it. So here we go again. I think it started like Wednesday or Thursday, and I haven't really been able to catch up to speed with it. So all I can say is my thoughts and prayers go out to it. And so if you're out in that, I'm so sorry. It's definitely tragic. But I'm moving on, so because I've got a lot of ground to cover. So yeah, it's been a very stressful week. But it seemed like everything was kind of coming back this week. Angela's back now. You know, not what? Yeah, I got Angela back now. I've got everything seems like it's clicking. We're back to work. Everything's normal. Now the washing machine has decided that it doesn't want to work, and I don't know why. We did have a freeze this week, so it might have something to do with it, but I don't think so, because everything is draining fine, so it's nothing to do with the water. But, well, it does to a certain degree. Like if the hose is up, if the hose is like four feet off the ground like it normally is to drain out, it doesn't want to drain out. But as soon as you lay the hose on the back of it, lay it down to the ground, then it wants to drain out without a problem. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know. I've got it's a Maytag. It's under warranty. Got it from Lowe's. Did the Lowe's warranty. Called Lowe's. Lowe's told me that you got to go through the manufacturing warranty first. Called up the manufacturer. They're not open today, so yeah, we're playing the game, I guess. All while trying to figure out what's going wrong with the hose and why it won't drain and spin. The spinning part it doesn't have a problem with. It's the draining part that it has a problem with, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. So fighting that, and then on top of that, my fiance's sister's dog passed away, and that's very unfortunate too. Lovable dog, so that she will be missed in the family as well. So dealing with that, and yeah, right now more than anything, just running in and out of here today, or trying to fix that washing machine. So that's my goal today. Tomorrow will be more of a relaxing day, though. I'm headed out, irregardless whether the washing machine gets fixed or not. I'm headed up to the city tomorrow. I'm going to try to enjoy my day or my morning, and then Chiefs game tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to that. Hence the Chiefs gear. So there you go. Today we'll talk about the playoffs, of course, food, Funkos, wrestling, Star Wars, shipping, Traitors, and more. Of course, we'll do more ranking stuff and talking nerd. I've only got one thing actually that I'm ranking this week, so it might be a little bit of a shorter video, but it's okay. Oh, and I forgot to. So yeah, so we're talking about like the cold this week. It got like at one point wind chill got to like a -25. So we're talking cold. So that's why I thought maybe that has something to do with the washing machine going out, because that was like Monday night going into Tuesday. And I think we tried the washing machine Wednesday, and that's when it didn't want to work. So, because we decided not to do anything with it on Tuesday, just to be on the safe side, like just leave it alone on Tuesday, let it do its. That way, we're not running into any water into it. So hopefully, it won't have a problem. Well, now it's got a problem anyway. So it is what it is. But it's warming up today. We're in the 50s today. So there you go. There's some good news, and it should be 40s and 50s all week next week. So starting off with, we've got WWE Raw. Raw was really good Friday night. It was really good Monday night. Jey Uso opened up Raw. Gunther confronted him, of course, so they had a brawl. Jey Uso was left inside the ring with the title. He kind of held it up over Gunther. So they're setting up for their Saturday night matchup later tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Rey Mysterio, he went up against the New Day. I would say one member of the New Day, but let's face it, he more or less went up against both of them, and it didn't matter which one was in the ring. He faced both of them, basically. It became 2-on-1, of course. The LWO came out to confront the New Day. So there's a brawl between the LWO and the New Day, which I'm sure is going to lead up to something later on down the road, or probably this upcoming Monday. WWE also recognized Bob Uecker. So after his passing last week, WWE was able to recognize him on Raw. So they did a nice thing for him. Then we had the match between Bayley and Nia Jax. Just before that, Jax attacked Rhea Ripley, so I figured that would have something to do with this match at some point. Rhea Ripley's not going to let something like that go unscathed. Like, basically, I guess Jax attacked her on the way in the building or something. I don't know, but anyway. Roxanne Perez was in the stands during this. Of course, her and Bayley aren't getting along at the moment. They exchanged words, ended up in a fist fight, where Bayley punched Perez. Perez jumped up, and then she was escorted out right after that. Of course, she had a few choice words to Bayley before she left. And that left Bayley taking her eyes off of Jax, but it still ended up being a pretty good fight between the two of them, despite that, that little mishap. Bayley basically took on Jax with only one good arm there for a little while. But Jax did end up getting the win, as always. She ended up sitting on Bayley, so that was pretty much it. And sure enough, Rhea Ripley did come out, and they're setting up for Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Saturday night event. I think right now they're just pulling matches out of thin air, basically. So it's a rematch between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Also, the Judgment Day is trying to get ready to get their titles back from the Raiders, but Finn Balor is still out from the street fight, so Dirty Dom is going to take his place. I'm guessing that's going to be on Monday Night Raw next week. I'm guessing either that or it would be on tonight's thing, but I didn't see anything advertised for that, so I'm assuming that's going to be on Raw next week. Penta versus Butch. I still call him Butch. Pete Dunne, but I still call him Butch. I like Butch better. Nothing against Pete Dunne. It's okay, but for some reason, Butch just sounds better for a wrestler. I would want to be called Butch if I was a wrestler. Come on, it's cool. Who's going to mess with Butch? I'm Butch, damn it. But anyway, it was a great match all the way through. Both of them fought hard. Because, WWE is trying to, in my opinion, I think they're still trying to put Pete Dunne eventually in some bigger matches, and I think they're doing the same thing for Penta. So, I mean, it was definitely a brawl back and forth, but it ended the way we thought it would, or at least the way I thought it would, with the sacrifice, and then the Penta driver. Penta won. So, they're going to keep promoting Penta. I'm hoping to see Penta in the Royal Rumble. And speaking of the Royal Rumble, CM Punk was talking about the Royal Rumble. He mentioned some names. He says he's going to he would take out Hogan if he had to, so to speak, to win the Royal Rumble. But he did mention some names of other ones that are going to be in the Royal Rumble, including Roman Reigns, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. As we know, because Sami threw his name in the pot. And then, as we know, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, they're going to be in the Royal Rumble as well. That is, if Jey Uso loses. If he loses the Saturday night fight tonight, then he'll be in the Royal Rumble as well, which I assume he will be, because since they already kind of announced him. But that could change. But yeah, so, and then the last fight of the night, oh, wait, we're not there yet. Then Damage Control comes out. So after CM Punk does that, which I'm all for the Royal Rumble, and I know there's going to be other people in there as we get down to it. There'll be, I'm sure that the members of each tag team will probably be in the Royal Rumble. I'm sure there's going to be some names from people from TNA will probably appear in the Royal Rumble as well. People from NXT will probably end up in the Royal Rumble at some point, so I would not be surprised. It's usually a big thing. I mean, there's 40 guys, so. But Damage Control versus Tony Stark and, well, I don't know if it's Tony. I think Tony Stark is. But anyway, versus Stark and Shayna Baszler. Sorry, I didn't mean Tony. Tony Stark is yeah, I got my Starks mixed up. There is a Tony Stark, but that's MCU. That's Iron Man. But anyway, they took on Dakota Kai and Io Sky. First Dakota Kai came out. She was kind of being ganged up on. Finally, they got Io Sky into the ring. She went on a winning spree there for a while. She's on a roll. Got knocked down a few times. Dakota Kai came back into the ring to help her out a couple times there. And the Genius of the Sky ended up beating Baszler in the ring with her somersault, or whatever you want to call it, down on Baszler. So Damage Control took the win. And the last match of the night, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, well, it was a great match all the way through. Both guys taking on each other. They laid each other out outside the ring. They laid each other out on the inside of the ring. Rollins was laying on the mat, and I think it was McIntyre that said, "You question my integrity." I know it was one of them, but anyway, I want to say that was McIntyre. McIntyre gets a cheap shot on Rollins, but Rollins gets a steal from him and wins anyway, so there you go. Basically, I think McIntyre was just starting to get fired up, and then right when he's getting fired up, Rollins just rolls him, just out of nowhere, just rolls him up in the middle of the ring for a 1-2-3. So, didn't knock him out, didn't have to, he just kind of pinned him out of nowhere, knocked him down and pinned him out of nowhere, and took McIntyre by complete surprise. So there you go. There's that. And now we take a little bit of a break from the from WWE and the other sports to bring you shopping. Why? Because so many things are coming out with so many new products. And I don't know about y'all, but I am really looking forward to this. Okay, so we got Coca-Cola's coming out with 6 new flavors. For the new Coca-Cola, for the Freestyle. So when you go to, say, like a movie theater and they have it, or if you go to Wendy's, they have those Freestyle machines. So they've got 6 new flavors coming out. They should be available now through March. They have Fanta Lime, Sprite Cherry, Sprite Orange, Fanta Citrus, Coca-Cola Vanilla Peach, Coca-Cola Tropical. So that's some things to look out for. Did I mention 6 flavors? Fanta Lime, Cherry, Sprite Cherry, Sprite Orange, Fanta Citrus, and Coca-Cola Vanilla Peach. I guess I did. Oh, and Coca-Cola Tropical. So there you go. I'm really curious about the Tropical. That might not be too bad. The Coke Tropical, Sprite Orange sounds pretty good too. And then the Fanta Citrus sounds pretty good. So I'm kind of might want to check those out next time I go into Wendy's. Dr. Pepper is also come out with a new flavor. Dr. Pepper Blackberry, which I did get some. I got some this weekend, so I'll be trying that out very soon. Also, it says here it was supposed to come out in February, but it already came out. It came out this week. So, Dr. Pepper Blackberry. Also, the Pepsi, as you guys know, Wild Cherry Cream. It's already came out. Sunkissed is coming out with a new Raspberry Blood Orange. It will only be available at Casey's. I didn't see when it's supposed to come out yet, but I know it did come out. Nike has Tatum 3 Zen, which is giving a new look. It's a basketball shoe. It's now available. So there you go for Nike, for all you Nike lovers. AEW Root Beer is coming out with a flavored cotton candy. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know when it comes out, but there's that. Walmart is now selling Maracha and Gold Instant Ramen Noodles. So, again, be on the lookout for that. Ben & Jerry's is going to have 4 new flavors. Extra large containers. Vanilla and fudge brownie, strawberries and cream, chocolate and fudge swirl, and coffee and fudge chip. I think those last 2 sound really good to me. The chocolate and fudge swirl and the coffee and fudge chip. I may have to try those for sure. Although strawberries and cream sound pretty good too. Really all 4 of them sound good. But anyway, it's going to be part of the Ben & Jerry's Scoop-A-Palooza. So those are available now. And let me see. Cheez-It is adding 2 new flavors. For pizza flavor, 2 new flavors or pizza flavors. They have the pesto mozzarella. Pesto mozzarella. And then they also have extra crunchy marita. So Mariti. Anyway, you get it. So be on the lookout for those. They're also going to have a new cheesy jalapeno available sometime this month. So I thought they already had a cheesy jalapeno, but I don't know. That's just what I got written down. Wonder Bread is coming out with a new snack lineup, so be on the lookout for that, I guess. They're now competing with Little Debbie. Chips Ahoy is coming out with a chocolate caramel cookie, and they're also coming out with their new baked bites. I don't know if those are available yet, but yeah, I'm definitely going to look out for those. Hershey's is coming out with Butterbeer Kisses. I'm already on the lookout for those because I've got a fiance here that is nuts when it comes to Harry Potter. So definitely have to grab those. Mountain Dew will be bringing back, has announced that they're coming back with a Summer Freeze in June. So Summer Freeze will be back in June. The cherry lemon raspberry bomb popsicle. So there's that. Cinnamon Toast Crunch has released a new flavor. Exclusively to Walmart. It will be strawberry Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So I'm definitely looking out for that. That's supposed to come out sometime this month. Gatorade will be bringing back the Aqua Blast Thirst Quencher. That will be available at Walmart and Casey's General Store. They'll start bringing it back, it says here, in March. So, and then Oreos and Post Malone are collaborating with a new cookie that's going to be coming out, with a new Oreo cookie that's going to be coming out January the 27th. It will be salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream in the middle. And, of course, your chocolate cookies on the side are, holding the cream in there. So, there you go. It looks pretty cool. So, there is that. And then other things I got for the shopping that people might want to look out for, I guess, before I get into the last thing that's coming out soon. But stuff to be on the lookout. The FDA, of course, has banned the red dye, number 3, because it is linked to cancer. So some of your candies may have some of that stuff. So just be on the lookout. Also, I'm trying to see here. Kohl's. Just be on the lookout on your different Kohl's stores. Kohl's. If you have one around where you live, because 27 stores are going to be closing across across 15 states this year, because basically they're closing down one of their warehouse. More or less, they're closing down one of their warehouses. So, from what I understood, I may be wrong, but that's just what I understood. So, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. So don't come back and try to sue me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying it right now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I very well could be. I'm a dumb guy, but yeah, that's what I have heard. They're closing 27 stores in 15 states, so just be on the lookout in case one of those happens to be in your area. And Pepsi is currently being sued by federal regulators for giving one store in particular the right to price their soft drinks, which is kind of illegal. They don't really do that for anybody else, but they're doing it for one particular store, Walmart. So, okay, we don't know if it's Walmart or not, per se. I think a lot of people are jumping to that, though. It's probably Walmart, but if you look on their stuff, it doesn't say Walmart anywhere in the lawsuit. Like, nobody's naming Walmart outright, so they're just going after Pepsi, so they're not trying to get anybody in trouble other than Pepsi. Of course, Pepsi right now is denying this, so it may not be true. Who knows? But that's just what what the federal government is doing, is they're trying to sue Pepsi. So there's that going on. All I can say is good luck. Also, there's a new recipe I want to try, which has nothing to do with all this, but I'm just kind of, throwing this out there. A recipe that I saw earlier on this week, it said trying to next time I make homemade chili, to put some Coca-Cola in that homemade chili and see if that doesn't help the flavoring of the chili. So it's not just good to have Coca-Cola with your chili, but as a soft drink, but you could also probably mix some of that in the chili itself. I never thought of that, but it might be interesting. So I figure I might give that a shot at some point, even though that's kind of a lot of Coke to be putting in your system at one time. But all right, now back to the shopping part, now that I gave you guys the other gists, the side notes. As you guys may already know, which I'm trying to look out for, Barilla Am I saying that right? Barolo. They're coming out with some new heart-shaped macaroni. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups has come out with some lava, chocolate lava, and I think caramel Reese's. So be on the lookout for those. I already grabbed a couple that I'm going to be trying out some point this week. So just be on the lookout for those. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and then Funko. Good old Funko. They have John Wick Chapter 4 figures now available from Funko. And since we brought up Funko, we got to do the Funko talk. So, Funko is coming out with some new stuff this year to be on the lookout for. They got some Rocky that I need to look out for because my fiance loves Rocky. Golden Girls, which I'm looking at, keeping an eye out for my parents and Angela's parents, and apparently Angela wants me to look out for those for her as well, I guess. Futurama, Breakfast Club, Bride of Chucky, Xena, Squid Game, the NFL, National Football League is having some new ones as well, including Travis Kelce running, Nick Bosa from the 49ers, Micah Parsons from the Cowboys, A.J. Brown from the Eagles, Brian Robinson from the Falcons, Garrett Wilson from the Eagles, Bryce Young from the Panthers, CeeDee Lamb from the Cowboys, Terrell Davis from the Broncos, and Chad Johnson from the Bengals. So, and then they got, also, moving away from the NFL, Funko also has Saturday Night Live, Ferris Bueller, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Say Anything, Abbott Elementary, Terrifier, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Veltron, The White Lotus, Bridgerton, which I'll have to look out for Angela as well, Robot Chicken, Charlie Chaplin, Beavis and Butthead, Space Ghost, Beetlejuice, Godzilla, Child's Play, Valentine, Wicked Valentine, Scream Valentine, Lord of the Rings, The Nun, Planet of the Apes, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Honestly, the list just goes on and on. You just got to check and see what they've got. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. I know, so I've already been looking. I'm like, dude, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. And I'm like, yeah, I can't afford all of that. So we're just going to do whatever I can and go from there. Besides, I don't have the room to put it all in anyway. I would be filling up this house 3 times over if I got all the stuff I wanted from Funko. Past and present. So I wouldn't have a house left to live in because this house would be completely filled in Funkos. All right, so that, and then talking TikTok. That's the next thing I want to bring up. Now that I'm done with the shopping, we're talking TikTok. TikTok is back, guys. It is back. They're saying that Donald Trump saved it. I don't know if he actually did or not. Some people are saying it's a hoaxum, it's a hoax, whatever. Don't believe everything. I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. I don't really care. I just want to say it's back. I just know NATO never banned it. Canada never banned it. Mexico never banned it. It was only a U.S. ban. But yet it's supposed to be a conspiracy for everybody. But yet the United States is the only one that banned it. I don't know. I don't get it. Not that it hurt me in any shape, way, or form. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I have a TikTok, but at the same time, if TikTok goes away, it's not... I'll just find something else to do. It's not a big deal for me. I mean, I've got other social media apps I'm on, so it's not like it's a big deal. I'm probably spending too much time on my phone anyway, so it might be doing me a favor by getting rid of it, so it's fine. They also had a new trailer this week, now that I'm getting done with that. Talking more about Hollywood. They got a new trailer coming out this week for Captain America Brave World. It did come out this week. They shown the Red Hulk a little bit more, and what looks like it might be a glimpse of Doctor Doom in the trailer. And the movie's coming out February the 14th, so I'm really excited about that movie. Ringo Starr is also coming out with a new country album called Look Up. He is playing the drums as he sings in the album. He's got Molly Tuttle, Billy Strings, Allison Cross, Larkin Poe, and Lucius in that album as well. Featuring them as well. So there's that. So now we're done with that. We're done with TikTok. We're done with the quick Hollywood news, I guess. Other than I know that there's another award show coming up in February, so be on the lookout for that. Talking Chiefs. We're talking playoffs, and first thing I'm going to be talking about is Chiefs because, hey, I'm a Chiefs fan. I was born a Chiefs fan. I will die a Chiefs fan. It's just the way it is. So the Chiefs beat the Texans. Those 8 sacks, incredible defense. One great pass by Mahomes to Kelsey as Mahomes was falling to the ground. Incredible touchdown. I like how Kelsey just kind of pretended like it was no big deal. After he caught it, like, okay, caught it. Okay, what's up? But he caught it wide open. That was the second wide open catch of the day. Well, I'm sure, actually, I don't know if it was second or not. But anyway, second big wide open catch of the day that I can recall anyway. And, also a great catch by Worthy in the game. There were missed field goals by the Texans. There was a one missed field goal, one missed extra point. And, of course, one blocked field goal at the end. Felt bad for their kicker. It was a long day for him. Kelsey makes a big play after what looked like a catch from Worthy that they didn't go. I think it was Worthy who made the catch. But anyway, there was a big catch right before that. That son of a... All right, had to move in here. So, my camera or whatever you want to say, phone, decided to be charged up. So hopefully we're good. If not, I'll have to resume recording this later. But anyway, so Kelsey made a big play after what I thought was, I forgot who tried to catch it. I think it was Worthy. But anyway, it was one big catch. I thought it was a catch, and then I saw that our coaches decided not to, because the referees didn't call it an incomplete pass. Reed decided not to challenge it, so it may have been an incomplete pass, but I thought it was a catch. Didn't matter because Kelsey came away with a big catch anyway. Wide open. Got him down to the 6-yard line. So, hey, whatever it was, they overcame it. Also, shout out to Kelsey. He got a LeBron stat in that game. LeBron stat. He surpassed Jerry Rice for the most 100 yards games in postseason. Now he has 9 100-yard games in the postseason, so that's pretty cool. He was tied with Jerry Rice last year, I guess, with 8, so now he's got 9. That's really cool. That's awesome. Now, we're going to talk about this because I feel like I have to. Because a lot of the other fans want to diss us. Well, diss Kansas City and diss the Chief fans and say, like, well, your team lost. Your team only won because of the referees. Which I come back and say, okay, first off, we won. Let me get this out of the light. We won. There we go. We won not because of the referees. Referees made a couple. I will give you the referees made at least one bad call in that game. I'll give you that. Bad calls happen. Any game that I've ever watched, past, present, and future, I can think of at least 1 or 2 bad calls in every single game I've ever watched. There's at least 1 or 2 bad calls. It either goes our way or it doesn't go our way. But there's at least 1 or 2 bad calls. And I said it as soon as those calls happened. Just you wait. The Texans and their fans are probably going to start complaining as soon as they get a chance, because Chiefs are going to win this game. It's obvious. They're going to come back and they're going to get the Chiefs for those bad calls because they're losing. Sure enough, that's what happened. But I'm going to come back and say, okay, if the referees lost that game for the Texans, what about those 8 sacks? Did the referees sack the quarterback? Is that what happened? Because 2 bad calls does not equal 8 sacks. 2 bad calls does not equal your field goal kicker missing a field goal, missing an extra point, and then getting a field goal blocked. That doesn't relate. Those 2 bad calls do not relate to that. Not in any shape, way, or form. Leaving Travis Kelce wide open to make great catches, including that 1 touchdown, did not come from a penalty. That's just poor defense, leaving one of the best tight ends in the NFL wide open, knowing fully well what Travis Kelce is capable of doing when he gets the football. That is on you. That is on your team. You cannot pin that on the Chiefs. Now, the referees did say that those calls, the officials, who you want to say, they did come back and say that both of those calls are legit. I'm going to say right now, first off, I don't necessarily agree that they are both legit. But I will say this, because the first one, I think anybody would have called that. Anytime the helmet is that close to the quarterback's helmet, you're going to call it. It's close enough that they're touching, and you don't have instant replay at that time. It's just the helmet is really close to the quarterback's helmet. They're going to call that every time. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. That one's going to get called every time. Now, the slide that happened, I don't know. I've looked at that one several times. I could see that going either way, to be honest. I'm being blunt honest. Because I look at it as I'm also a baseball fan, okay? So I'm looking at it like, okay, well, if we're talking baseball terms, tie goes to the runner, right? So in this case, tie would go to the quarterback. I don't know. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying. But, I can't. On that play, all I can say is I could see it going either way. I could see legitimate arguments saying, no, the referees did that perfectly right. I can see a lot of arguments going like, no, they didn't. Personally, I don't think they did. I'm going to say that. Unless, like I said, unless that tie to the quarterback works, if that's legit. But I don't think that's legit in football, so that's why I'm saying I don't know if I necessarily agree with that call. That was probably a bad call. But that, like I said, that one call does not equal the Chiefs beating you when you made that many mistakes prior to that. You made mistakes prior to that penalty, and you made mistakes after that penalty on other drives. Not just on that particular drive, because there was mistakes made on that drive too. But there were a lot of mistakes that were made after that drive that the Texans should not have made, and they're blaming the refs. That is, no. The Chiefs are the 3rd worst team in the NFL to get penalties. They've been that way since Mahomes has become quarterback for the Chiefs. Since Mahomes has been the quarterback in 2018, the Chiefs have had 846 total yards and penalties. More yards more yards given up by the Chiefs for penalties than their opponents on offensive drives. Like I said, they are the third worst in the NFL to touchdowns for Kansas City. Penalties to touchdowns for Kansas City is at 22%. Since 2018, the Chiefs are called for holding 196 times, more than any NFL team in the league. When there is a holding penalty, 22% of the time, the Chiefs still get a touchdown. Only 22% of the time after a holding call do the Kansas City Chiefs still get a touchdown. Still, despite all of that, the Chiefs still have a top-rated offense. And since Mahomes has been the starter, then there's that rumor, too, that Mahomes gets the call every time he is touched. That's not the case either. Mahomes has played since 2018. Mahomes has played 112 games. He has dropped back to pass 4,100 times. He's only got the roughing the passer call for him. That call has only been made for him 30 times in his entire career. Only 30 times. But yet, every time it happens, this stuff happens, and then not only does Mahomes get blamed, but us as fans, we get to hear it too. Kansas City always gets the call when it matters most. I've heard that one a lot, especially this year. Plays of third and 10 or longer, or plays of 4th and 5 or longer. Of those times it's happened, only 2 penalties have been in the Kansas City favor. There have been no help from the refs on those downs. In fact, Kansas City is 15th in the NFL right now when it comes to that. So they're half. Penalties in the second half of games in 2024. The Chiefs actually had more flags than any other NFL team in the second half. Chiefs were in 37 primetime games since 2018 and 18 playoff games. And because of that, that is why people are complaining. Because the Chiefs still find a way to get it done, even though they get the penalty and even though they get the bad call. Whereas teams like the Texans can't figure out how to do that. But Kansas City gets the blame. Even though, and here's the thing, this is Travis Kelce, I think he said it best when he said the teams have to find ways, or he said basically the best teams find ways to keep games out of the refs' hands. That's the best way to do it, is to overcome that penalty. You know penalties are going to happen. That's part of the game. You know you're going to get bad calls. It's part of the game. Bad calls will happen. Referees are human. You overcome those calls. If you don't overcome those calls, you're not going to win games. You're not going to win championships. You've got to overcome them. The Chiefs find ways to overcome them, and that is why the fans are getting tired of the Chiefs. It's not because of the penalties. It's because the Kansas City is getting the penalties, and yet they're still finding ways to win. So I'm putting all that to bed right now, and I'm going to say this. I'm actually going to call out the Texans and any other team that says all of this from now on. I'm going to say this. Bottom line, if you are a player or a coach, and you are blaming the ref at the end of the game, you are a sore loser. I don't care what the play was. I don't care if it was the game-winning play. Bottom line is, you put the game in the ref's hands. The ref made a bad call. Okay, fine. But what did you do? What did your team do prior to that to lead up to that, to where the ref had to make that call? He may have made the call, and maybe he made the wrong call. I'm not saying he didn't make the wrong call. But even if he does make the wrong call, what did your team do leading up to that call? To put it in the ref's hands. What did you do to get that far? That's my argument to those teams. You put it in the ref's hands. In this case, you really try to put it in the ref's hands because you couldn't beat the Chiefs head on, obviously. So you try to put it in the ref's hands. That backfired. The refs they made at least one bad call. I will give you the one bad call. But yet, you're going to base the entire game on that one bad call. And then they're saying, too, well, there's other calls that weren't made. You know what? There's probably there are other calls for Kansas City that never got made, too. If we go back and look at the tape, I'm sure we can make a strong argument for both teams of calls that weren't made. You can't depend on the refs. You got to win the game. That's just how you play it. I used to do the same thing when I first started watching the game. I would blame the refs too when the Chiefs wouldn't win. Did it especially in the 2000s when we faced Brady. I did it in the 90s when we faced Elway. But the bottom line is those were better teams. They were better teams than we were. They deserved to win. I see that now that I'm older, wiser, whatever you want to say. And I can say, basically, blaming the refs just make you look like a sore loser. You might as well just come out and say, we were a sore loser. But that's all I'm going to say on that. And I'm moving on. That's enough said. All right, so now we're talking about other playoff games. We had the Lions versus the Commanders. Close game all the way through. I remember telling my fiance, I was like, dude, I said, I don't even know if I'm going to bother watching this because I think it's going to be all Lions. I really do. Lions are playing great right now. Fantastic. I think it's going to be a Lions versus Kansas City Super Bowl. I really do. The two best powerhouses going at it. Detroit might actually knock us off in the Super Bowl. It could very well happen. I don't know, man. I don't see anybody really stopping the Lions. They are just really good. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I started off right. Jimmy Gibbs gets the first touchdown, 7-0 Lions. Then there's a field goal by the Commanders. 7-3. Goff fumbles the football. And then Brian Robinson gets a touchdown. Now it's 7-10. Okay, now the Commanders have control. The Lions score another touchdown. Washington answers with another touchdown. It's 14-10. So now Detroit is up, but that was kind of short-lived. It didn't stay like that for long. Jaden Daniels passes to Terry McLaurin, 58-yard touchdown. Now the Commanders are up 17-14, and the game that I thought was going to be a blowout is no longer a blowout. It's a close one. It is. Goff didn't look good. He didn't have a great game at all. He was intercepted by Quinn Martin, 40-yard touchdown, pick six. So now the Commanders are up 24-14. So now they're starting to put the game out of reach. The Commanders are putting the game out of reach. Are starting to. Then we have Daniels to Zach Ertz for another touchdown. 31-21. Oh, I'm sorry, because, they did, Lions did score here. I forgot to mention that 61-yard touchdown by the Lions. Golf to Jamison Williams. So that made it 24-21. So the Lions did make it close, but like I said, that was short lived. Daniels to Zach Ertz touchdown. That so now we are at. Oh, but that was during that. That wasn't Golf to Jamison Williams. That was Jamison Williams running. I think he ran 61 yards. Anyway, 61-yard touchdown. That's what I got down. But Golf was out at that time, or whatever. At one point, Golf went out. Ted Bridge came in. I guess it was during that time for that touchdown for 24-21. But like I said, then Washington scored 31-21. Golf comes back in. Yay, Golf is picked. Oh, no. Robinson scores again. So, there's that. I will say that the Lions did score before that. It was a 31-28 after Golf came back in. Made the game 31-28, but like I said, Robinson scores. It's now 38-28. There's a trick play with J Mode and D Pastor. A trick play, but I don't think it did much good. Basically, Washington intercepted. Golf again. Jeremy McNichols scores. It's 45-28. There was a field goal later by the Lions, 45-31. Golf is intercepted again on the last drive. And Washington runs out the clock. The Washington Commanders beat the Lions 45-31. I saw the Lions head coach crying after the game was over. I felt bad for him, but yet I kind of felt bad for him, but yet at the same time, I was happy for the Commanders. They did a really great job, and they've got a really good quarterback over there. At some point, I think that quarterback is going to be just as, Daniels. I think he's going to be just as good as Mahomes, dare I say it. But it very well could be something going down in the future between those quarterbacks. I don't know, but Commanders definitely. I did not expect that. I did not expect them to beat the Lions. Incredible win for them. And then we move on. Rams, Eagles. Hurts runs it in for the first touchdown. 6, but they didn't get the extra point. It's 6-0. All right. Rams, Tyler Higbee makes a good catch. He gets a touchdown. So now it's 7-6. Eagles. Eagles score again. They get another touchdown. It's 13-7. All right. So, of course, we're getting snow on the ground. And I think the snow really became kind of more of a factor for the Rams. The Eagles, I think it kind of played more into their favor a little bit. Even though the game was still fairly close. Rams did get a field goal. It's 13-10. Rams defense gets a sack. I think it was Yurs. They got the sack. Rams get a few more sacks. Eagles get a sack. So later on when the Eagles get the ball back, they get a sack, force a field goal from the Rams. Now it's 13-13. Then the Rams force the Eagles to get a field goal. It's 16-13. Hurts gets sacked by number 92. I forgot. I don't know who that was. But anyway, he gets sacked. Looked like it was for a safety. Is 16-15 now. So we get past that. Eagles get another field goal, 19-15. Rams fumble. Recovered by number 53. Then the Eagles get a field goal. Now they're up 22-15. Now here's where it gets really good. Eagles, Barkley. Okay, so Barkley earlier, he gets a huge run, right? That gets a touchdown for the 13-7 lead earlier. That's what I meant up there. But anyway, Barkley gets another big running touchdown. Gets a lot of yards on this touchdown. I'll tell you how many yards he got later on. But, gets another big play there. Big touchdown. Now it's 28-15 Eagles. They say fly, Eagles fly. They are definitely flying right now. Or they definitely are flying at this moment in time. Rams, Matt Stafford to Kobe Parkinson for a touchdown. It's 28-22. Carter gets a sack on Stafford later on. That's pretty much about all the big highlights I got. Eagles end up winning. Good game by Philly. Good game by both defense. Well, good defense from the Eagles. I would almost say a good defense by the Rams too. But those two big. I mean, how do you not block Barkley? But then again, I don't know if many teams have an answer for Barkley. He's just a good running back. Well deserved. Stafford had some good passes in that game. Hurts looked good. Barkley just phenomenal. 205 rushing yards. And here's a LeBron stat for Barkley. He's the second player in NFL history to have 3 scoring touchdowns of 60 yards against the same team in a single season, including the playoffs. Because these two teams did lock horns in the regular season as well. And this is the first time any team has scored 2 runs for 40 yards or more, regardless of it being a regular season or postseason game. So first time that a running back has ever ran over 40 yards twice in the same game against an opponent. So shout out goes to Barkley. He got some good LeBron stats in that game. And his team won because of it. So there you go. Same thing with Kelsey, man. Kelsey got some good LeBron stats in that Chiefs game. And because of those LeBron stats, the Chiefs got the win. Or a part of the reason why the Chiefs got the win is because of those LeBron stats. So even though they look back and, like, Kelsey looks back and goes like, yeah, but those stats don't really mean anything to me. It's cool, I guess, in a way. You're putting me in the name of Rice. And in Barkley's situation, they're putting him by himself on a pedestal kind of thing. I don't know about a pedestal, but you know what I mean. They're putting him up there by himself, which is really cool. Giving somebody else a chance to maybe break that LeBron stat later on sometime down the road. I know they say like that don't mean anything, but those LeBron stats mean everything in a way because, I mean, it gives us something to talk about later on down the road. Like, hey, you got that. I can't believe it. But that stat at that time helped the team win that game. So there you go. Because a lot of times the players say like, well, all that matters at the end of the day is that we won the game. Well, because of that stat, you won the game. So anyway, we're talking about Ravens-Bills. Lamar Jackson to Bateman, the first score of the game. Baltimore leads 7-0. There's snow in this game, but it didn't really matter. It was kind of a lighter snow, and I don't think it played much of a factor in it. Roy Davis rushing touchdown for the Bills. That ties the game 7-7. Jackson intercepts Taylor. Oh, Jackson gets intercepted by Taylor Rapp. At least that's what I got written down. So a pick by the Bills. Jackson later on, he fumbles the ball. It gets picked up by Miller. So I guess maybe the snow had a little bit of a factor maybe for Baltimore, but you wouldn't think so because both teams should be used to the snow. Allen would later do a quarterback sneak touchdown. That put the Bills up 14-7. Jackson Bateman, he goes from the 50 to the 1 yard line. A big pass play, I think. He gets it from the 50 to the 1 yard big pass. They settle for a field goal. So Ravens are still behind 14-10, but they've increased their lead. Allen would later run in another touchdown. Now it's 21-10. Bills. Baltimore gets a field goal. It's 21-13. Derrick Henry would get a touchdown. It's 21-19. So Baltimore's now getting closer after a 2-point conversion. Well, they tried a 2-point conversion right after that. It was no good, so they're still behind 21-19, but at least they're increasing their lead, right? So seems all good, but Buffalo would later answer with a field goal. It's now 27-19. Jackson makes a pass from the 35, right around the 35 to the end zone to Isaiah Likely. Big touchdown there, 27-25. Again, they tried a 2-point conversion, and Andrews drops the ball, so they didn't get it there. Bills would end up winning that game, I believe 27-25. So now it'll be Bills versus Chiefs. And there's another controversial call in that game for the Bills, but we're not going to talk about it because, again, we're trying to blame the refs and why. Like I said earlier, I ain't worried about all that stuff. Controversy, crap. Either you won or you didn't. It is what it is. So, I was 2-2 on my picks for that week because I picked the Ravens. The Bills won that one because I was trying to pick an upset. I was right. There's going to be an upset, but I picked the wrong one. So, and then the Eagles and Commanders, I did pick the Eagles. Eagles won that game. I did pick Kansas City over the Texans. Kansas City did win. And then I picked Detroit over the Commanders, and Commanders won. So I was 2 for 2. So for this week, though, we only got 2 games. So only 2 games to pick for me. I am taking the Eagles over the Commanders. And I'm taking the Chiefs over the Bills. So I'm predicting another Chiefs versus Philly Super Bowl. So we'll see if I'm right. But there's that. There's the playoffs. We'll see what happens. I'm in my Chiefs gear. I'm hoping for another Chiefs win. Say what y'all want to about the refs. Say what you want to about us being the bad boys of the NFL. I don't really care. Because like I said, I still do my Roman Reigns thing all the time. So just go ahead and call us the bad boys. I don't care. I'll be the bloodline. I'll be the bloodline and hold up the titles at the end. I don't care. Sounds good to me. So now we're going to talk about Mizzou. Missouri, one of my favorite college teams, Mizzou. Mizzou is ranked number 5 after they beat, no, they weren't number 5, but they were number 22. They got a ranking. They got into the top 25 after they beat number 5 Florida 83-22, and after they beat Arkansas, 83-65. Florida was number 5. That's why I got mixed up there. But never mind that. Missouri is number 22 in the nation. But that would be short-lived because following the Arkansas game, Missouri gets beat by Texas 61-53. And Texas is not ranked. So Tamar Bates for Missouri. Tamar Bates gets 10 points. Anthony Robinson II gets 8 points. Trent Pierce gets 8 points. But then you look over at here at the Texas side, you'll immediately see why Texas won. Arthur Kaluma. Arthur Kaluma. He gets basically he gets a double-double. He gets 12 rebounds and 14 points. And Trey Johnson gets 12 points. Caden Shredick, he gets 9 rebounds and 9 points. So if that didn't tell you enough, basically Texas came out with their defense. Missouri came out with their defense early in the game, but they just couldn't hold on. But Texas defense was able to hold Missouri back from a few points. And as Missouri head coach Rodney Terry said, we weren't able to get to the final line. That pretty much sums it up. So with that, my question is right now, is there a Missouri curse? Are we cursed right now? Because it seems like a lot of times when Missouri finally gets a ranking, whatever that ranking may be, Missouri ends up, the Tigers, at least when it comes to basketball, whenever they get a ranking like that, give them about a game or two, and they will lose a game that they shouldn't be losing, and they will fall out of the rankings. Exactly what happened. So, what else can I say about Missouri? Hopefully they'll make it up later, but, I mean, you had it, you were right where you wanted to be, and then you dropped the ball, so to speak. Tough loss for the Tigers. Talking Boston Celtics. Boston's doing really good right now as far as the East Conference goes. The last few games are like this. Boston versus the Hawks went to overtime. The Hawks won that one 119-115. Boston versus the Warriors 125-81. That was a win for the Celtics. Celtics versus Clippers was a win for Boston 113. Celtics versus the Lakers, that was the last game, and the Lakers beat us 117-96. That was kind of a tough loss there, but I mean, hey, I'll take it. We're now 31-14. Jaylen Brown got 17 points, 8 rebounds. Jason Tatum got 16 points, 6 rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis, anyway, got 22 points, 7 rebounds. All right, so LeBron James, he got 20 points in that game. Oh, he got a double-double. He got 20 points in that game. He got 14 rebounds. Anthony Davis got 24 points with 7 rebounds. And then Austin Reeves got 23 points with 6 assists. So, really good game for... even though, I'm a Celtics fan, so of course, Celtics and Lakers. Oh my gosh, those Lakers. But hey, I'm going to give my hat out where it's due. I don't know if I'm a big Celtics fan, so maybe I kind of consider myself to a certain degree, But I don't get into it wholeheartedly where I hate the Lakers. So, and I hear from fans all the time like, well, if you don't hate the Lakers, then how can you call yourself a Celtics fan? I'm like, well, I don't know. I can't tell you. I guess being from the Midwest and being that I'm not actually, in Boston, it's not as big of a deal here. So because of that, yes, I still like the Celtics. I still like Boston, but I the hype there between the Celtics and the Lakers, it's just, and like I said, a lot of it may be just because I'm in the Midwest, but the hype just isn't here, so to speak. So because of that, I'm just gonna say first off, I still think Boston played really good. It wasn't as close as I wish it would have been at the end. I wish it would have been more like a 114 to 117 loss. But, I mean, at the end of the day, a loss is still a loss. But I definitely would have rather it been a win. I would have took a win over a loss. But, hey, LeBron James, though, great game. He got a double-double in that game. LeBron's just being LeBron, man. When he's hot, he's hot. And I'm not one of those people that's going to hate on LeBron James. I like what the man does. Phenomenal player. He brings the best out of his team no matter who he plays on. So I like LeBron James. Anthony Davis did a great job. Austin Reeves did a great job. But I'm not taking anything from the Celtics either. 17 points from Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum with 16 points, and then Kristaps with 22 points. Hey, I'll take it. So I like that. I like what Boston did there. I'm sorry to Kristaps about getting his last name mumbled up there at the end, but there it is. That's just now I'm afraid to try it again because my tongue got tongue-tied. All right, so there we go. And then talking Mavericks. Mavericks versus basically the Kansas City Mavericks. I'm talking about Kansas City Mavericks. I'm not talking about NBA, but Kansas City Mavericks for hockey. They are currently 36-22. I think that's right. Oh, 37. They're 37-22 right now. They are 5th in the Western Conference. And forward, I hope I get this name right. Forward, Cade Borchard. He is named ECHL Western Conference All-Star Team. He has 10 goals, 10 assists, which is the league best plus 19 rating, so good forward there. And I wish him the luck. Good player. Can't say more about him. Of course, in saying that, the Mavericks did lose their last game, which is on the 24th, so Friday. But they lost to Wheeling at Wheeling 4-3. So close game. But the Nailers got the win. And that happens to be, by the way, they lost to the number one team in the Eastern Conference. So to lose to them 4-3, hey, I'll take it. I'd rather them not lose, but I'll take it. I think they got to face Wheeling again tonight and tomorrow. I think it's part of a series. So we'll see how everything goes. But basically, in that game, the Nailers scored 2 goals in the first period, and then they scored 1 goal after that in each period after that, and it was just too much for... Basically, the Mavericks just couldn't overcome those 2 goals in that first period, so that's what ended up killing them. But, hey, good game, very close one. Meanwhile, Seattle Kraken who owns the Kansas City Mavericks, which is why I'm rooting for them, because they own the Mavericks. That's their kind of like, baseball. It's the team that they get their players from. But anyway, talking Kraken, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with the Kraken. They are 20 wins, 24 losses, and 3 ties for the year. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Just not a whole lot to talk about. They did beat, in their last 3 games, they beat the LA Kings 4-2. They beat the Buffalo Sabres 6-4. And then they lost to the number 1 team, Washington Capitals, 3-0. 3-0. They got shut out. But in their defense, Alex Ovechkin. I hope I'm saying that right. Alex Ovechkin. I think it's Ovechkin. But anyway, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. But he got his 875th goal, which is a big deal. That was a career goal, by the way. But yeah, he is right now. Wayne Gretzky has the record for 894 career goals, so he is not far from Wayne Gretzky right now. And he also right now, Alex has 20 goals for the season. So he's doing incredible player. So, I mean, I could take that as a little bit of a loss. I could take that a little bit with a loss. I mean, hey, you're playing a great player. After the game, Seattle goalie Joey Dackard said this. He said, they're the number 1 team for a reason. They made it hard for us to get to their net, and credit to their goalie as well. He played well. Washington is a great team. I'm not taking anything from them. Like he said, they are the number 1 team for a reason. But in saying that, still wish Seattle would have won, or at least would have scored 1 goal. 1 goal against them. Come on. Make it 3-1. Don't make it a shutout. That kind of hurt. So, there you go. And then talking WNBA, because, I mean, there's a lot of things. Even though they aren't playing yet, there's still a lot of things going on. Like I said, basically right now, free agency is a big thing with the WNBA. I know there's another league going on right now with the ladies, but I'm not really... it's a new league, and I'm not really sure exactly what's going on yet. I'm still getting familiarized with everything, so because of that, I'm not talking much about that league right now. It's nothing against any of the players, not against the team, anything like that. I'm just still getting familiar with everything on it. To be honest, I didn't know when that league was going to be starting, and I didn't know if I'd be able to watch it. I found out later on that they do have some of those games on Max, and so I'm trying to get caught up on some of it, but I'm still way behind. So I'm not really getting too focused on that league. I'm more focused on just when the WNBA starts up, and I'm seeing a lot of free agencies going on right now. I know there's a lot of free agents. I'm not going to name them all. I thought I would, but just looking at my list, there is a lot. I just know Diana Taurasi. I'm really paying attention to her. She is one of the unrestricted free agents. I know her age is going to play a factor in this. She is one of the older players. I get it. But, I mean, in my opinion of her, and I may be wrong, but this is my opinion of her. I think right now she is basically the WNBA's LeBron James. I'm just saying. She's got to be equivalent to, well, I wouldn't say LeBron James. That's wrong. Kobe Bryant would be more accurate, I think. She's like the Kobe Bryant of the WNBA. Are very, very close. I think right now WNBA, from what I've seen so far, they have her and Aja Wilson, who are, in my opinion, I think both of them could easily be the Kobe Bryants of the WNBA right now. You know, not speaking of who played prior, I'm talking about right now. But bottom line is, I think both of them are really, really important players in the WNBA. And I'm definitely going to be paying attention to see where Diana ends up at, because I think she is one of those players that no matter who she goes to, she's going to give them a leg up instantly just by being there. Like I said, I know her age might be a factor, but I mean, I seen her play last year, and the woman has not, unless something has happened, you know, during the off season, that woman has not missed a step yet. She can still play with the best of them. She can still play with the young ones just fine. I know if it were me, I would have, put it this way, if it were me and I had a spot for her on my team, you know, I would have no problem in signing her for at least a 1 year or a 2 year contract. Because she's that good. She's that good. And I have a feeling if you market it just right, depending on how you market her, you could bring a lot of fans in to see her. I think that's the big thing where the WNBA misses a lot that I have seen so far, and I've been a fan for very long, I ain't gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I actually was a fan of the WNBA before Caitlin Clark, though. I will say that. My favorite team will actually surprise you because I am a Chiefs fan, but I like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is actually, or they were actually, my favorite team. And because they don't have a Kansas City team, I'm kind of, the WNBA is one of those leagues right now where I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between teams, which one I like the best. Because I also like the Liberty. Liberty is a really good team too. I really love the Liberty. I think there's going to be, I think there already is a rivalry going on right now between Las Vegas and the Liberty right now. I really do. I think there is a huge rivalry in the brewing for those two teams. Because they both want to be the best. They just do. It's understandable. So I will say this. If Diana ends up going to one of those two teams, and I would even say too, and I don't know if they're interested or not, but I'm just throwing this out there because I know Las Vegas probably has the money. I'm just saying, from a fan standpoint anyway. And like I said, it probably never happened. Probably never happened. So I'm not saying it is. Not at all. But I'm just throwing it out there as a fan. As a fan. AJ Wilson and Diana on the same team. For 1 year. And seeing what happens. Both of them playing for Las Vegas. What would happen then? Would the Liberty have an answer? Both players are getting older. I understand that. Diana is going to be retiring soon. I get it. She may. Everybody thought she's going to retire last year. I was surprised to see her on the unrestricted free agency, but she's there. Although I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because, like I said, the lady has not missed a step yet. Why should she retire? I don't blame her for not retiring. I don't. You know when you know. And right now she's hot. She's still on fire. I'm just throwing it out there. What if? As a fan, I know it probably never happened, but what if? You know, pulling that MCU what if crap. But what if? What if Diana and AJ Wilson were on the same team for 1 year? What if? What would happen? And of course, you're going to have Kelsey Plum there for 1 more year from the sound of it because she is restricted. So she'll be there 1 more year. What if? What if? Like I said, I don't see that happening. I really don't. But that would be crazy. I'm still going to follow, though, and see where Diana does end up. I really am. But yeah, I think she is a really good player, and I'll definitely... Her, and then another one I have, a couple other ones I do have too. Courtney Vandersloot. I'm definitely going to be watching to see where she ends up at. When I saw her name on here. And DeJona Carrington. I think she's a good player as well. And I think Carrington can be a phenomenal... I really think she can be a branch-out player depending on where she ends up. Because I think she can be a great player just depending on what team. What team and what, where they put her at. But as long as they put her in the right situation, I think she'll emerge as one of the top players. I think she's already that good. I think she is already one of the top players, but you get what I'm saying. I think she could be... Anyway, bottom line is I'm definitely watching to see where she ends up at. Carrington, Vandersloot, and definitely Turiasi. I'm definitely going to pay attention to all three of them and see where they end up at. Great players. Great players. And then, like I was saying, we have the core players, or what I call restricted players, I said a while ago. Basically, it's the WNBA's version of putting a franchise tag on a player. So, Kelsey Mitchell has that. Breanna Stewart has that. Kelsey Plum has that. Satu Sabelli has that, and Gabby Williams has that. And I'm not surprised by any of those ladies. They are well deserving of that. Like, if I had those players on my team and, I wanted to secure a chance to keep them while I'm trying to figure out their contracts, I would put them down as a core player. I totally understand where they're coming from. Definitely do that. So, and then you have reserve players that could become UFAs if they don't get a contract by February the 1st. There might be a couple people on that list that I might be interested in, but I kind of have to know the players a little bit more for that, you know what I mean? Because, I don't know, I'm still learning everything when it comes to that, but I know when I see some of these other players, I like, oh yeah. Oh, and Bonner also, for unrestricted free agent. Do you want Bonner? I will definitely be paying attention to that one as well. So that's that. Okay, now we're going back to the nerd shit. So, here we go. Nerd shit. It's time to talk about nerd stuff. Nerd stuff. Angela's getting into her Star Wars outfit, and rightfully so, because we're talking about Star Wars. We went from WNBA to Star Wars, just like that. Talking about Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Jod Nawood. I just call him Jod Na. He was played by Jude Law. That's the actor. First off, Jude Law did an awesome job playing him. I don't know if you guys have seen Skeleton Crew, but it's freaking amazing. I loved Skeleton Crew. I'm hoping that they branch off of this, do some more stuff with the Jod Na character, because they didn't really include a lot of his backstory. I hope they do coming up, because he's a very interesting character. And definitely not only just do his backstory, but hopefully they'll do something with him moving forward as well, because he's still alive after all this was done. So I want to see what they'll do with his character. Okay, so for those of you that don't know his backstory, Jod used to be a Jedi, so that's why he's got like those Jedi tricks, like, you know, he can use the Force. He was actually being trained to be a Jedi. He was a Jedi, but his master, well, he was, from what I gathered, like he was going to be a Jedi. Like he had his apprentice. He was, you know, but anyway, he had his master. He was basically an apprentice, from what I gathered. He might have been further along than that, but said his Jedi master was killed right in front of him. From that point, things kind of went downhill for him. He was left alone, and he turned to piracy. So that's why you see him with all these pirates. He uses his knowledge of the Force to make people believe that he is a Jedi. So I got that a lot from him as well. Like I said, he made these kids in the show believe that he was a Jedi throughout the entire series. Well, up until the end. That's when they kind of figured out, yeah, you're not really a Jedi. But he could still use the Force. So, and he knew how to use a lightsaber, obviously. Of course, they said he's also known as Red Jack and Captain Silvo. I'm assuming that's all pirate names that he went by. He partners with the kids, trying to get them back to Aunt Aden, where they're from, the planet that they're from. But he wants to get them back because basically this planet makes some very valuable chips, but they can, as currency, basically they make very important currency. So he's there to basically steal all that currency that he can get, and of course he's thinking that Aunt Aden can make more currency for him so he can become really, really rich. So that's what he's there for, and in fact he wants to get to their vault and get as much of that currency as he possibly can. So there you go. By the way, this whole storyline is 5 years after the return of the Jedi. It follows the fall of the Galactic Empire. The children in this that I mentioned, KB, played by Karina Kranter, Wilm, played by Ravi Cobbett, Conyers, Fern, played by Ryan Kira Armstrong, Neil, played by Robert Timothy Smith. All those kids did a really good job. I liked them all. I think KB was one of my favorites. KB and Wilm. I really liked them. Fern was good too. I liked her. And of course Neil, the elephant looking kid. But
I like the elephant.
As Angela liked the elephant kid. So that was Neil. So she liked Neil. And then who could forget the robot in the movie? The pirate robot, SM-33. So that was a really cool character as well. He stuck up for the kids quite a bit. So props off to Disney. I never really thought that Pirates and Star Wars would have went that well together, but I was proven wrong. I really loved it, and I hope to see more stuff like that in the future. I definitely want to see Jodna again, so I'm hoping they continue that storyline. Time will tell. Then we're going to talk Traitors. Talking Traitors. And then we'll talk SmackDown, and then I'm done. So, Traitors. Boston Rob from Survivor became a target this week. As you all may or may not know, so if you don't know, now you know. Boston Rob, Caroline Wigger from Survivor, and Danielle Reyes from Big Brother. They are the three traitors. They had a fourth traitor, but they kind of more or less got him voted out on the last traitor episode. So now they are the three, and they are not getting along at all, but they really didn't get along. I'm going to be honest, they haven't really got along since the very beginning. When they started off as three before Boston Rob got there. They really didn't get along. Boston Rob comes in, they didn't get along. Then Boston Rob makes a move because Bob the drag queen made a comment that he didn't like, where he's more or less saying not to trust the new three people that came in. And Boston Rob is one of the three people that just came in. So he's thinking that Bob the drag queen is targeting him. So now he's like, well, now I got to get the drag queen out there before he gets me. So he gets the drag queen because everybody was kind of wondering about him anyway. So he gave the people what they wanted. They wanted some blood. He gave them some blood. So we got one big dysfunctional Traitors family going on right now in this episode. They can't get along at all. Wigger basically thinks that Boston Rob might be after her, so now she don't trust him because after what he did to the drag queen. Daniel Reeves doesn't like him because the drag queen was one of her friends, and how dare you take him out. That was her ride or die. That was her way of getting to the final two, I guess. How dare you? What were you thinking? But now she doesn't. But now Reyes doesn't trust excuse me. She doesn't trust Wigger either, because Wigger is a survivor. So now she thinks the two survivors are going to get together and take her out. So there we go. One big dysfunctional Traitors family. We have Dylan Efron from Down to Earth, who's right now becoming a big thorn in the Traitors' side. He's the one who kind of already figured out that Bob the drag queen was a traitor before Boston Rob came forward and said, yeah, I think he is too. So there's already speculation way before this. And like I said, Dylan was the big reason for that. So, and now Dylan, I believe he's kind of thinking that Danielle might be a traitor. So I'm thinking might be going after Danielle. Time will tell. But at the same time, he did call out Gabby's name during this episode. So that may come back to bite him in the butt too, because he was the only person that went after Gabby at the round table. Everybody else went after Nikki Garcia from WWE. She's the only WWE person on Traitors. They voted her out. it was unanimous. Like I said, there was only one vote for Gabby. Everybody else voted for her. She proved to be a faithful. Prior to that, I think it was Robin Dixon from The Real Housewives. I think she was the one who got murdered. I'm pretty sure it was Robin this week. Also, Wes Bergman from The Real World and Derek Lavisser, I think I'm saying it right, from Big Brother. They are both they are the two that came in with Boston Rob, and they are both highly suspicious of Boston Rob right now. They both think that he is a traitor. So we'll see how that goes. Also, what I didn't know until I looked it up, Lord Ivor Mountbatten. Am I saying that right? Lord Batten. I didn't know this until Angela probably already did, but he's actually the cousin of King Charles III. So he's royalty. Well, kind of, sort of. He's related to royalty. And from what I understood, he's actually the first person from that royal family. And I might be wrong in saying this. Angela can correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I found out anyway is that he is the first person from the royal family that's openly gay.
Yeah, I think he's the only one.
So there's that. Anyway, the episode ended with Reyes and Wigger from the two traitors. They are still locked horns going after each other. They don't trust Boston Rob, of course. They're going after each other, and it's shown in the previews where they're definitely going after each other at the round table next week. So we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, highly dysfunctional family that we've got going on as traitors. Why can't they just get along and get everybody out, and then they can duke it out? Like normal people. All right, and last but not least, getting into this, because the main event is coming on. And I want to watch this. And I'll talk about this for next week. But Cody Rhodes comes out for SmackDown. He opens up the show. There's a ladder. He's talking about the ladder match with him and KO. Motor City Machine Guns. They have a tag team match against the Pretty Deadly. Of course, Motor Machine Guns, they win that match. It was also announced that The Miz and the Wyatts are going to be on SmackDown. They didn't show the Wyatts, but they did mention them. So the Miz and the Wyatts are now going to be on SmackDown instead of Raw. In fact, there's a couple other shifts in there too. Another tag team match, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven took on Mission and B-Fab. B-Fab and Mission won the match. They beat Green. It was Michin that beat Green at the end. There's another promo for Charlotte Flair. She's coming to SmackDown, as you all know. I don't think she'll really have her first match, though, probably until the Royal Rumble. I think they'll probably announce her for the Royal Rumble, and that's how she'll get in. Her and the Man. I think that's how they'll be brought back. It'll be through the Royal Rumble. Most likely, anyway. And I got a prediction for another women's wrestler as well. We'll see if she comes back at that. She's currently injured. She's supposed to be with Naomi and the EST, if you catch my drift. But I think she'll be coming back as well for that. But anyway, moving on. Tiffany Stratton comes out. She says that everybody in the Royal Rumble is going to be targeting her because she's got the belt now. And that's when Rhea Ripley comes out and says, hey, don't forget about me. I've got a title too, more or less. So we've got the two ladies champions in the ring together. And, of course, Rhea Ripley says something about her being Nia Jax for the Saturday night event. That's when the Nia Jax hears her name being mentioned. Her and Candice LeRae come out. Beyonce comes out. Or Bianca. I said Beyonce. Bianca comes out. Because, of course, she's the EST. Naomi come out. They announced they're going to be in the Royal Rumble, too. Liv Morgan comes out. She announces she's going to be in the Royal Rumble, more or less, with a lot of talking. She does a lot of talking just to announce it, but there you go. I don't know if Rodriguez is going to be in or not. She didn't say, but I would assume she'll be in the Royal Rumble as well. So there's that. Ends up in a tag team match, 6-way tag team between... So, basically, after Stratton comes out, she gets the night off. It's Naomi and the EST with Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, and Candice LeRae. Liv Morgan ends up winning the match. She beats... she actually pins the EST in the ring for the win. She kind of got a steal in typical Liv Morgan fashion. Not surprising there. And then they go to Michelin again. Michelin is now, she says, you know what? I got backup this time. I got B-Fab. So I'm coming back for that title of yours. Talking to Green. That's when Piper Nivens looks back at Chelsea Green and says, you know what? We might need bigger backup. So, who knows? They might be getting some bigger backup for SmackDown next week. That, I have a feeling, is when they're going to have their title match. Johnny Gargano versus Paula Cruz. It was a 2-on-1, basically, because Ciampa was out there, too, helping out Gargano. So, you got a 2-on-1 going on. Motor City Machine Guns, they came out because they didn't like how it was a 2-on-1 match. So, as soon as they come out, Gargano drops the ball, and Cruz picks up an easy win, so to speak. At least as easy as it gets for the WWE. Tama Tonga versus LA Knight. LA Knight did get the win, despite it being a 2-on-1, because Jacob Fong2 was on the outside of the ring, so it became a 2-on-1 match with Fong2 and Tonga versus LA Knight. Like I said, LA Knight still got the win, despite that, but Fong2 took out his frustrations on LA Knight anyway. So it still was a 2-on-1 brawl with Fong2 and Tonga versus LA Knight in the ring for a little while. That's when the Monster Among Men came out. Braun Strowman and Tama Tonga. Basically, he left the ring, but Fong2... Well, he left the ring, but he's still on the outside. Fong2 decided to go into the ring to stare down Braun Strowman again. And those two are going to have a match for the Saturday night main event as well, as we know. Damian Priest has now been announced that he, too, is going to be on SmackDown now. He is leaving Raw. He had a match against Carmelo Hayes. Good match all the way through. I think it's because they're trying to... In fact, Hayes is getting better. He really is. I think eventually he's going to have bigger matches to come, even though he doesn't really have... He hasn't really won the big ones yet, but hey, it's coming. I have a feeling he's going to get some W's. But he didn't get any W's Friday night. This was Damian Priest did end up beating him with a South of Heaven. So Priest won that match. Then we set that up for Jimmy Uso versus KO, Kevin Owens for the last match of the night. Of course, Carmelo Hayes and Jimmy Uso still have a beef going on. So Carmelo Hayes, even though he lost the match, he still came out there and tried to take his frustrations out on Jimmy Uso. That was kind of broken up pretty quickly, and we move on. Big match between Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens. Good match all the way through, but it did end up with KO getting the win in that match with a powerbomb. Of course, after that, though, KO takes out his frustrations on Jimmy Uso a little bit further. And then Cody Rhodes comes out. They have a clash. Yada, yada, yada. So there we go. That is what's going to lead us up for Saturday night event. Can't wait. Rhea Ripley is going to open up the night against Nia Jax. I'm already predicting that Mommy's going to retain her title because Mommy's always on top, and she's already beat Nia Jax before. I think that was just I really think that match was just a throw-in match because they really couldn't think of a whole lot to put in there. So I think that one's just kind of a match they threw together at the last minute. But hey, it is what it is. Both of those ladies are definitely ones that they'll do that with. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. Got stuff to look for. Oh, I want to do one more thing. I do have a top 10. I did mention it earlier. It'll be my last thing. So, my top 10, because we want to talk February, right? Well, first off, we do have the new year coming in. The Chinese New Year that we're going to be celebrating. So, you all can look out for that in my next video. And my last thing, and I apologize the way this video has been thrown together, but my last thing, of course, tonight is, I don't have a telescope, but if you all do, tonight, all 8 planets are supposed to be in perfect alignment tonight. All 8 planets. I don't know how you're supposed to see that because the Earth is right in the middle, but all 8 planets are supposed to be in perfect alignment tonight to the sun. Well, I don't know up to the sun, but they're supposed to be in perfect alignment. But anyway, with February coming up very soon, I want to say I have 10 things I'm looking forward to for February. And I made a countdown. Okay, so some of these I kind of threw together to make a top 10 list. I really had a top 8 list, but it is what it is. First off, the movie The Monkey. It's one of those monkeys that does like this. Those toy monkeys. It's a horror flick. It looks like it's going to be really creepy. Very creepy. And because of that, it makes my top 10. I still want to see that movie. Sacramento Days on Netflix. That one is an anime. Looks really good. It's a series. Technically, it started in January. And the last bit of January. But I'm extending it to February because I want to make a list. So, there you go. There's that. Number 8, the movie called Last Breath. It looks really good. It's a sea movie, basically, or ocean movie kind of thing. But Last Breath, it's still it's a thriller, so it looks really good. I'm excited. I think they made a movie kind of like it before, but I don't know. It looks really good. Number 7, Love Hurts. I believe that one might be a horror movie too, but I'm not sure. I just know from what I've seen so far of it in the previews or whatever, it looks very interesting. It's called Love Hurts. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's number 7. Number 6, the Grammy Awards. Which I believe is going to be like the first weekend of February. So, is the Grammy Awards. Number 5, Paddington in Peru. It looks like it's going to be a really good movie, and I like Paddington. I like that bear, so that made my number 5. Even though I'm not a kid, I don't care. It still looks like it's going to be a good movie. Number 4, Cobra Kai, the last part of their season for season 6. I'm really excited about that. Cobra Kai. last time for the Cobra Kai. So there's that. Number 3, Captain America: Brave New World. That looks really, really good. And I seen the like I said, I seen the trailer, the latest trailer, and it looks like Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is going to be in it, so it looks like it's going to be really interesting. I can't wait. Number 2, the Royal Rumble. I believe that's going to be the first weekend of February also. Is going to be the Royal Rumble. I am so looking forward to the Royal Rumble. I know there's going to be a lot of the ladies coming back. Of course, the men too. John Cena is going to be in it. So I'm excited. Seth Rollins is going to put on a show. CM Punk is going to put on a show. I have no idea who's going to win. I don't know. I don't have a clue as to who is going to win the Royal Rumble for either the ladies or the men, but I know it's going to be big. Either way you look at it, it's going to be big. And the number one thing I'm looking forward to in the month of February, the Super Bowl. No matter if the Chiefs make it in or not, I don't care. It looks like we're going to have a good Super Bowl, whether it be the Commanders, the Eagles, the Chiefs, or the Bills. It's going to be a good Super Bowl. I can't wait. It's going to be in Louisiana. It's going to be an awesome Super Bowl. Awesome Super Bowl. New Orleans. Heck yeah. So, there you go. There's the things I'm looking forward to in February. And like I said, then we have the New Year, Lunar New Year, that Angela and I are looking forward to this week and celebrating. I even have a couple of dolls. There you go. Part of our tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, but there you go. We're getting excited about that. We got Chinese food and all that for Wednesday, so that'll be our, at least it gives us something to look forward to during the work week. So there's that. And that is all I got for y'all. So on that note, y'all have a good one. Peace out. And I will see you all later. Because like I said, our wrestling main event is on now. And I don't want to get killed by Angela. So I will see you all later. Peace out.